to be honest, it's not about the title. It's not really about the belt.
He's 36. He's almost 37.
Diego Lopes had Alex Volkanovski.
Beautiful to watch. I'm inspired.
I don't ever remember Volk not having a good chin, and he's really not that old.
At UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski reclaimed the UFC featherweight championship by defeating Diego Lopes via unanimous decision. The bout was marked by Volkanovski's strategic prowess and resilience, especially after a challenging first round where Lopes' aggressive striking posed significant threats. Despite being 35 and coming off back-to-back knockout losses, Volkanovski became the first fighter over 35 to win a UFC belt under 155 pounds. During the intense fourth round, Volkanovski was hit with an uppercut to his left eye that caused him to temporarily lose vision. Despite this significant impairment, he continued to fight strategically and eventually regained partial sight, which helped him manage distance and stay in control. Post-fight, Volkanovski expressed his desire to stay active and indicated interest in challenging undefeated Russian fighter Movsar Evloev to take his unbeaten record. He also mentioned he would be open to defending his title against Yair Rodriguez if the UFC prefers that matchup.
How much did you miss having that title sitting in front of you? Does it feel right now?
I mean, to be honest, it's not about the title. It's not really about the belt. But winning, staying on top, being successful, you know what I mean? Showing this represents a lot more. Like I'm in the gym busting my ass every day. You're sacrificing so much. What am I doing it for? Obviously to be the best. This represents that, which is great. But yeah, that just represents everything I've worked hard for, if that sort of makes sense. So I don't look at it as like, oh yeah, the belt, like wow. I mean, it's just gonna sit in the closet like the other one, you know what I mean? But what it represents and what I've done is that's special. That's more special to me. Me taking this back to my family, friends. Maybe that's why it hasn't properly settled in, because I want to soak it up with my family and friends and everybody back home, because that means more to me. Because when I see all that, that's what really hits for me. This wrapped around me, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. But I mean, it's so much more than that.
Michael Bisping, former middleweight champion. Bisping analyzed the fight from a strategic lens. He pointed out how Volkanovski was in full control after the early scare. According to him, the knockdown Volkanovski suffered didn't change the momentum of the bout. Instead, it highlighted the Aussie's ability to make mid-fight adjustments. Bisping said, Volkanovski's control in the later rounds was solid, a clear 4-1. This wasn't just praise, it was Bisping underlining how the judges likely saw the fight. Volkanovski didn't panic, he adapted, and that's why he won convincingly.
Tonight, Alexander Volkanovski is the only person 35 years or older. He's 36. He's almost 37. And he's also the featherweight champion of the world. And he did it by beating Diego Lopes. Did it in quite dominant fashion. Outstruck him on the official strike count, 158 significant strikes on the side of Volkanovski to just 63 on the side of Diego Lopes. Now, that makes it sound very, very one-sided, but it wasn't. It was a competitive matchup. Diego Lopes certainly was dangerous at times, but it was Volkanovski evolved. It was vintage Volk. It was the guy that became the champion, that outstruck Max Holloway 3 times. He went out there, he was smooth, he was calm, he was composed, and the chin was fine. He took a couple of good shots, a nice big uppercut. He got wobbled a couple of times. He wobbled Diego Lopes back, who went flying into the fence, and the fence saved him. Yes, he hit the canvas. He was knocked down once by Diego Lopes, but I'm telling you, all in all, he deserved to win the fight. I could not be happier for Alexander Volkanovski. It's an incredible story.
Demetrious Johnson, former flyweight champion Johnson, focused on the mental toughness of Volkanovski. He emphasized how difficult it is to remain composed after getting rocked, and especially after losing vision in one eye. Johnson explained that recovering calmly from a knockdown and maintaining dominance showcases immense discipline. In other words, he wasn't just impressed by the win, he was impressed by how Volk managed his emotions, stuck to the game plan, and didn't let panic override performance.
Even Alex Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes. Now in this fight, I went with Diego Lopes. The reason why is because I felt Alex Volkanovski had to be perfect for 25 minutes. And was his ass not perfect? He was perfect for 25 minutes. I'll say 24. He did get dropped once, but that's the biggest thing I was worried about. For someone who gets knocked out twice after his, his last two fights against Islam Makhachev and Udaporia, I expected him to be gun shy, and if he was to get tested in that chin, he would go to sleep. And that wasn't the case. The one thing Alex Volkanovski did very well is he kept on circling. He kept on circling constantly, and then he would get in, fire, get out. Get in, fire, and get out. And then he was doing a good job with the feints and stifling Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes would just get to the edge of the void and move his head, and then Diego Lopes like, punch me, and he'll eat the shots, but eating shots doesn't win the fights. Now, when Diego Lopes had Alex Volkanovski on his heels, that's when Alex Volkanovski is his most vulnerable.
Israel Adesanya, former middleweight champion Adesanya, who's known for his precise striking and calm under pressure, spoke about resilience. He said, "I've seen fighters falter after a knockdown. Volkanovski's steady return confirms his elite status. To Adesanya, that's what separates champions from contenders. Volk didn't just survive the shot, he came back stronger, a key trait in championship-level fighters."
How are you? You good? We love Miami, don't we?
We love Miami, two-time, baby. Fucking beautiful, man. The guy, again, he's 35, over 35. He's had 2 knockout losses. Blah, 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 blah. But fuck you gonna say now? Yeah, I love it. I love when a guy like that, a guy who earns it, fuck deserve, he earns it, and he's a great man. And show why he's great, in and out of the cage. So, yeah, beautiful to watch. I'm inspired. I'm very inspired. Yeah.
Dana White, UFC President Dana White, praised the fight with a promoter's eye for grit and drama. His reaction was short but clear. That performance is exactly what a title fighter must deliver. Absorb a hard hit, regroup, and finish the fight. This wasn't about tactics or numbers. For Dana, it was about heart. What mattered most to him was the champion's ability to dig deep and fight through adversity, a must for UFC title holders.
Him to come out and look basically as good as he ever has. Give us your thoughts on his performance.
Yeah, I thought he looked incredible tonight. I don't ever remember Volk not having a good chin, and he's really not that old.
Were you surprised at how many shots, big shots, Diego was able to take and keep coming?
Yeah, fascinating thing, Niner, one of the production guys, was telling me during the fight that that Lopes was 5 inches taller, but only had a 1-inch reach advantage or something like that. Because I was surprised that Diego wasn't throwing more jabs and trying to stay on the outside and use his reach advantage a lot more. But, you know, it was a good fight. Both guys, you know, dug deep, battled.
Daniel Cormier, former double champion, light heavyweight and heavyweight. Cormier analyzed the numbers. He focused on how Volkanovski controlled the pace and dictated the exchanges after round 2. His comment, "It was called 4-1. Numbers don't lie. Effective control wins fights," was a reminder that damage alone doesn't win. Control, cage generalship, and round management are what count in the judge's eyes, and Volkanovski showed all of that.
Volk did an amazing job controlling the fight against the Diego Lopes, managing all the risk, all the dangers that comes with fighting someone at that level. You know, Alexander Volkanovski had so many questions to answer as he went into the octagon tonight. Could he take the punches of Lopes? How would he recover after losing the last 3 fights? How would he recover after being knocked out in the last 2 fights? There were so many questions and so many things stacked against this man. And once again, he was able to not only overcome, I thought that he fought a vintage fight. And there was some, you're being favoritism to Volk and da-da. I thought it was a pretty easy fight to score. I thought it was 4-1 Volkanovski. I thought that Lopes won round 4 in that fight. Outside of that, I thought Alexander Volkanovski was pretty dominant.
Henry Cejudo, former flyweight and bantamweight champion, Olympic gold medalist Cejudo, saw a fighter who kept his composure after eating a huge shot. He said, I understand what it means to take a big hit and keep fighting. Volkanovski did that with consistent control, coming from someone who's competed at the highest level in both wrestling and MMA. This wasn't just a compliment, it was a nod of respect. Cejudo recognized that it's not just about throwing punches, it's about taking them, adjusting, and never breaking mentally.
Volkanovski did look good, but man, if he gets touched up, I almost feel like there's something to it. Like he over exaggerates when Diego was hitting him, even though Diego did. He's got to be careful with that. I can go back and see why is it that Ilia Topuria ended up knocking him out. He does a lot of things good, but he does a lot of things wrong, man. Particularly defensively, he's always doing this, or he'll go for the takedown and he'll come up without his hands coming up. And I felt like if Diego really invested in that hook, it'd be a little different. I think he goes back to the tape and actually watch it. I think that's an area for any fighter that Volkanovski looking to take down. There is an opportunity there. But, I mean, overall, man, I think 145 pounds, I think for me, for a guy like Volkanovski, I mean, you would have to go with Loev. You know, you would have to go that route, or potentially, I know the UFC loves Aaron Pico. Match him up with Aaron Pico.
Right, title shot right off the bat.
Right off the back, man. I think Aaron Pico is a new being coming into the UFC.
Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Please like the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and remember, fight for your dream because no one will give it to you.